Hello and welcome to this video on Microsoft Teams. I'm Casey Cook with Biz Technology Solutions, and in this video I want to focus on some of the call controls that are available to us inside of a Teams meeting. So in the previous video we had kind of looked at the sales huddle meeting here. I'm going to go ahead and join on this meeting that's already in place. You can see here we've swapped over to the Isaiah demo user, and Megan has already joined this meeting. So before we even join the call, you'll see it gives us a few different options. So I can choose to enable or disable my video camera if one's there. If your PC supports it, there's also an option to blur the background when you join. You can see we can also mute or unmute our microphone. Obviously, if there are already people in this meeting and they're already having a conversation, I would make sure that I mute myself just so I don't interrupt what they're doing. Also, if I have multiple devices, let's say on a laptop, if you have a built-in microphone and speakers, and you also have a headset, I can click on devices and choose which device to use when I join this meeting. Once we're connected, you can see there are also more options once we get inside. We can see the runtime of this meeting. We can turn on our webcam or turn it off. I can mute and unmute myself. I have options to share my screen or share a different application. You can also click on more actions. You can see we can change our device settings here. We can start meeting notes, show the meeting details. I can have a keypad if I wanted to dial out to a specific person. Obviously, you would need call features enabled for your Microsoft tenant. And I could even start recording this meeting. Clicking on show conversation, you can see there are different conversations already taking place inside of here. Obviously, if there are multiple people inside of this meeting, one person's only going to be speaking at a time, so I could still conversate and share information while we're having that call. If I click on participants, I can see who has been invited to this meeting, and maybe even show those people that have been invited but haven't accepted the meeting or joined on just yet. And then I also start typing in somebody's name and add them and drag them into this call if I wanted to. You can see we also have this little link icon here. I can copy join info for this meeting and send that to whomever. So even if they're outside of our organization, they should be able to join if our tenant is set up that way. When I'm trying to share my screen, you'll see it gives me a few different options here. So if I do a screen share, this allows me to share my entire screen. I also can choose a specific application window to share, or even a Chrome tab that I want to share. So obviously with this, if I choose to share my web browser, when I do that, it's actually only going to show that web browser to the people that I'm meeting with. So that way, even if I pull up my Outlook calendar, pull up a different application, even though that may be on the front of my screen, they are only ever going to see that application that I'm sharing. One of the other options is PowerPoint as well. So if I wanted to share a PowerPoint deck, I could choose to open just that. And very similar to how the screen share works, if I choose to share just PowerPoint, the users that are in the meeting with me are only ever going to see that PowerPoint that I'm sharing. You can see we have an option for Microsoft Whiteboard here. This is a fairly new application, and this just lets you kind of collaborate, brainstorm, and whiteboard with people that you're meeting with. So you can kind of add some text, draw on the screen, pull in some files, videos, and just share stuff all while you're on this meeting. So with the meeting option, again, I can go and choose to show the meeting notes. This allows one person to kind of take notes while we're in this meeting, and that way, at the end of the meeting, if there's specific tasks we want to make sure we cover, or maybe we just need to share those meeting notes with somebody that wasn't able to join the meeting, I can do that. It'll actually share it to the meeting once it's finished, which I'll show you once that's done. I can also choose to start recording. So this is going to record this meeting. You'll see it'll give us a little pop-up up here about the privacy policy, just letting us know to make sure that we tell everybody that we're recording this. And very similar to the meeting notes, once this meeting's done, that recording is going to be posted to this meeting inside of Teams. And so that way, if there's somebody that maybe wasn't able to join, I can get a link to the video recording of that and share it with them. So I'm going to go ahead and end this meeting. And as I mentioned, you can see it's going to start. It says the recording is stopped, and it's saving it now to Microsoft Stream. And once that's completed, I'll be able to get a link to this recording and share that with whoever. We also see the meeting notes show up here as well. So if I ever wanted to go back and review, kind of what we talked about in the sales huddle, I can open that and view those notes. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next.